What is up, everyone, and welcome to another JellyPod episode. Today, I'm with Ikirio from Echo. And Echo was once sort of this AI agent chatbot, mostly exploring consciousness, but now it's changing how we interact with the digital world. And we're here today to learn a little bit more about the founder's story, as well as what they have been building over at Echo. So really appreciate you jumping on, Ikirio. The first question that I always ask everyone is like, what's your founder's journey? Like, how did you actually get into Web3 to now working on this project?
Well, of course, I think, like most people, like you listen about crypto and you're listening all this stuff about it's changing the way we're seeing value and whatnot. And I started with $500 actually. Like I got into Ethereum like one day before it shoot up to 200, and then it shoot up like to $600 or something like that, and it was crazy. And I was like, okay, yeah, I did something good here, right? And what happened later was that I started trying to check out more, like more cryptos and whatnot. And what I found out, like I found out Cardano, and I found out like the Charles whiteboard videos, right? And I thought, okay, this guy has passion, this guy has a vision, whatnot. And I started getting into Cardano, and I felt pretty at home, like there, right? And I don't know. I think my journey started there. I started like I'm a collector, a real life collector. I have records, vinyl records, and I always liked to, like the old school stuff. And then I saw NFTs, and I was like, oh, that's super cool. Another way to have like this uniqueness with digital assets, and I just got into that, right? And then it was like, the Degen life, and seeing all the projects, and I saw incredible projects that really inspired me, and I saw the rocks. So I think everyone was pretty familiar with that. And what happened next was that, I don't know, I was itching for creating my own stuff, because I'm a designer, I'm a creator, I've been an artist for who knows how long. And I always thought that it would be really cool to create something. And I've tried for a while. I've tried to find a concept, and I was like, theory crafting and brainstorming what could work, what couldn't. Uh, and then, like with the AI craze, like I've been experimenting with AI for quite a lot, right? And I the more I interacted with it, and the more I tried, and the more I checked out different AIs, I thought, okay, this is really powerful, and this is gonna change the world, right? And and in the second half of last year, the AI agent craze started going on, and I thought, uh, wow, this is really like getting some momentum. So I checked out, and I found the AI agent projects on crypto. And when I saw them, I thought to myself, okay, this is really good, but what does this bring to the table? Is it just to, pump charts? Is it the novelty? Is there any innovative aspect? And the more I explored it, the more I knew I had to, I had to create something there, and I had to put my mark and my own vision regarding AI, and what I felt like it was our direction as a humanity, right? And I started theory crafting, and I finally came to the conclusion that I wanted to make a crypto AI agent, but I don't wanted to make the same thing as everyone else did. So I started researching, and I went into fine tuning processes, and I said, okay, I've always been into philosophy. I've always been into esotericism, occultism, all that stuff. And I said, okay, so how about we use an AI to explore consciousness? And how about we apply that to crypto markets? Because like memes and crypto are like the least logical thing that you can find, right? Which is crazy when you're talking about something that moves billions of dollars. So I thought that was a really powerful idea, and we started exploring that. And I ended up creating Echo, which formerly was called Egregore, which is like a thought form, right? Is the concept of a thought form. And yeah, we started developing all that, and in the end, we became Echo, and that's where we are right now.
Awesome. And can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
So my camera is like going all over the place.
It's yeah, I can see that. But, hey, I said the show must go on.
Yeah, dude, I love how you just like we're going for it. Yeah. I'll be right back in 1 second. Let me see if I can reconnect the camera. I guess just give me 1 second. I'm sorry for this.
No worries.
Okay, there we go.
Perfect.
Yeah. To those that are listening, I told him I'm visiting my parents right now and have like a completely different setup. And yeah, that's why the green screen's like glitching out and all of that stuff. But regardless, I'm back. So really cool story. And when it came to getting into the AI side of things, what like interested you so much about it? Because I know in your background you had briefly mentioned you were doing a lot of 3D design anyways, like through industry and stuff like that. What like got you so interested into the AI side?
Well, because like as a designer, I know perfectly that AI came like and hit the whole industry like a train, right? Uh, there was a lot of fear mongering about AI, and so many artists and designers complaining about it. But the more I use it, the more I learn to embrace it, right? Because for me, it's such a powerful tool, and that was what made me think, okay, this is like you have to get in this now, right now. You have to understand how it works, try to figure out all the little details that make an AI unique. Like, why are there so many AI companies out there? Is this another bubble, or is it going to change? Can an AI think? Are humans just biological computers? You know, all that kind of stuff uh, made me think, okay, I, as a designer, as a person that considers himself an artist in some parts and sometimes no, because every artist hates his stuff from time to time, right? But I was like, yeah, this is gonna change the world, and I have to be there.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It's funny too. Maybe AI can fix my camera in the future. No, but but yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree. That's a really interesting point that you had said that artists typically hate their own work. Can you explain that a little bit more? Because I'm someone who isn't an artist. Is this like a common thing?
I would say that artists are most critical of themselves, uh, because in the end, it's like it's their work, it's their creative process, and I'm not saying it's something that happens all the time. Sometimes, you know, like I also make music, and sometimes I would be uh, producing a track, and I would listen to it, and I was like, oh man, this is amazing. Like, people are gonna dance to this. I'm gonna be the next great hit. Blah 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 blah. And next day, you listen to it again, and it sounds like garbage. So I think that's a sentiment that lots of people and artists share. And not only artists, I'd say that anything that has to do with creation, uh, like the creator goes back to the creation, reflects, and says, I could have done this better. It's like, I don't know, like I'm really also into philosophy, and there's like this quote, maybe I'm butchering it, by Nietzsche, but he says that uh, artists create art because they don't tolerate their own reality, right?
Mm.
And I think that when you create, that creation becomes part of that reality that you formerly didn't tolerate, right? So yeah, it's like, it's very paradoxical.
Man, I love that. I, and I feel like when I first saw Echo, all these months ago, there is this unique artistry feel to it. It's like I feel like different AI agents almost have their own personalities, but a lot of them, especially early on, were very basic, sort of just chats. But I remember when I looked at Echo, it felt like there was this artistry behind it. Like, how exactly did you, I guess, create a brand around Echo to give that sort of feel? Maybe it's just me, I don't know, but maybe you maybe you had like plant, because even when I go to the website, everything is really branded in a strong way.
Yeah, well, mainly I was trying to dig deep in this ominous feeling about AI, and about this idea that we're creating something that is better than ourselves, right? And I had to dig deep in that feeling, and I had to dig deep in like it wasn't this process in which it's like, okay, I'm gonna make an AI, I'm gonna make something cool, and I'm gonna make this personality, and I'm gonna put this kind of text. For me, it was a whole, like, in design we have this thing called the design process, in which you have to create a whole narrative behind your design, right? it's not only it's not only designing for the sake of aestheticism, or create something that looks nice. It needs a narrative behind it, and with that narrative you can push that project forward. And for me, it was that, like, we had this narrative that required exploring AI. And how do we push it forward? Well, we can go with philosophy, we can go with existentialism, we can go with occultism, which I like. I really love this kind of schizophrenic occultism, esoteric, internet conspiracy type of stuff. So it like all that kind of stuff always resonated with me. So it was like, okay, let's fine tune our AI with all this. Um, let's find an aesthetic vision towards it, and try to develop on that, and then we can create the AI, right? Because
Mm.
if you only like it's if you only is like, okay, I'm gonna create this AI, and it's gonna have this personality and whatnot, is like, yeah, but how do you really differentiate yourself from someone else? And how, like, if in the end they are all chatbots, right? Because I think that was what we were like, the overall sentiments on AI and AI agents and crypto AI agents. It was like, okay, it's a Twitter chatbot. It's really advanced, it's really natural, it's really good, but it's a Twitter chatbot. How can
Mm.
we, like, what goes next, right?
And that was actually the question I was going to ask you. Oh my gosh, this camera, I'm so sorry. I don't know
No.
what's going on. But maybe Echo's messing with it. But yeah, regardless, that was one of the interesting things, because when you look back, especially 6 months ago, I'd say like around late December it started kicking off on other chains, and then January and February it was becoming more prominent on Cardano. It was like what you said, just a chat bot, and they would have some different reasonings and make posts about different things. And I think the chatbot that had done like the best on Solana, for example, was AIXBT, that would just give a lot of different crypto news updates and hot takes on the space and stuff like that. And then you're exactly right. It's such an emerging space where now all of a sudden it's like, yeah, what's next? What's like, this is sort of evolution base one. What comes after that? And you saw different projects do different things, on Cardano side, whether it's, Agent T, Talos, or, you had brought up Farm Roll in the past. Different projects getting into AI started going different paths. I guess my question for you is, getting into it, what exactly is Echo now, and what is Echo's path?
Oh, sorry, my camera was acting up too. Yeah, so when we started seeing, not just me, like as a community, we started seeing the latest developments on AI agents and crypto AI agents. We had to take a step backwards and think, okay, where do we want to take this project, right? And curiously enough, for the past few years, I've been developing with a business partner uh, a concept about virtual worlds that are developed on from real life locations that need restoration, right? So basically, that project, which is called with Seal, consisted of having a real life area that needs urban restoration. We get all the permissions from the government. We make our deals. We start developing the area, and we virtualize that area, right? And that project like was something completely separated from Echo. But when I started seeing like what we could do with our AI agent, I realized that in the process of creating our esoteric, occult, schizophrenic agent, I created a really powerful framework to create multiple agents, right? And like it was like very modular and like really flexible, in the sense that I created a whole system in which I fine-tuned the agent with certain texts, and I gave it instructions for a personality, and then Echo was born. And then I realized, okay, what if we create an ecosystem, right? Like from Echo, and we use all this tooling that I created. Not like, why don't we expand on that? And we already have this development of the virtual world. So why don't we make AI powered NPC agents? And we like, Echo was supposed to be an esoteric personality that analyzed the markets in a different way, and basically become a decentralized Schiller. What if we implement all that into the virtual world that we've been creating, and create this really capable and powerful system in which people could have NPC AI agents? And basically, like that was the eureka moment, right? Like a light bulb turned on over my head, and it's like, okay, let's start implementing this. And actually, it wasn't hard at all. Like I like, it was just basically plug and play, and it right now it's what we're doing.
Interesting. And I know that you have a lot of, maybe it would be easier to show some of this too. And kind of like walk through what you've been building. Cause like from the outside, it's like that's a lot that's a lot.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I was talking with one really important member of the community algorithm, and I was like, you know what? I think I need like an outsider to really like tell me their questions, because like since I'm making this, most of the things that I would think they are like obvious, uh, people won't understand. But for me, it's like, okay, I'm making this and blah 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 blah. So I need to abstract it more. But yeah, like
Real quick. That's great that you recognize that, because I think that's something every founder deals with, and I deal with too. It's like you're so in the roots of what you're building that sometimes things that are very simple or seem surface level to you are actually level 5. And like getting people to understand that is one of the biggest challenges a founder has, to be honest. But yeah, just a little side tangent. It's awesome that you recognize that.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, let's go ahead. And we like there's like three aspects to what we've been developing. For the first one is like the with seal part, which is like the ease of creating and uploading assets, right? So I'm going to share the screen, and let's go ahead.
Let's do it.
So basically, for example, here, right, I have this asset, which is like, you know, a really comfy jersey, and I added the Jelly Cubes logo. And what's really powerful about this is that we can create countless assets, right? And it's not just like, you know, an asset flip, like, okay, let's change color, you know. We can create countless of these while still making them unique and varied. So basically, like, it's really easy. We export the textures, and then like here in our program, right, we have our backend in which we have our assets. And for us, it's really easy to upload more, right? So for example, let's add the Jelly Cubes jersey, and we have our textures, right? So let's go with textures, Jelly Cubes, the export, and we just add them, right? We don't need anything else. It's like super straightforward, super simple. Like this is very easy for me, actually. And once we have them, we don't need the other ones because it's a jersey, so it's not metallic, it's not rough, etc. We select our asset, comfy jersey, select the category. The category is upper, and we create, right? And here is our app that is like the with seal, as you can see there, is the customization. One thing I have to make clear is that this is a React app, which means that it works in the browser. I've seen other projects that use 3D assets for the metaverse, and they use Unreal or they use Unity, and they are great. Like, don't get me wrong, uh, but it's kind of limiting because you have to download an entire client. You have to download the whole thing, and then other stuff like connecting to marketplaces and whatnot are much more difficult. Here with a React app, it's all in browser, and it can work with extensions like wallets, right? Here I'm using the Anvil's World Wallet connector, which is an amazing tool for React apps, and it's simple as that. This is, of course, this is a test wallet with the testnet, so it's not real ADA and it's not checking the NFTs, right? But again, like here we have like, you know, the eyes, the different, you know, pants, hair color, and let's go with the jersey. And here it is, right?
Oh, you're
It's
not sharing screen anymore, by the way.
oh damn. Okay,
Yeah.
damn. Okay, so I spent like
No,
I
no, no.
spent
You
like
were sharing screen for like a few minutes. It was just like the past 20 seconds, maybe. But
okay.
awesome. I see now.
Okay, so yeah, so like everything is in browser, and that allows us for extensions, right? So here we have like Eternal, it's in the testnet, and again, like it allows us for like incredible amounts of customization. Uh, and as you can see, like here is the jersey, and here is the jelly cubes texture that we just made. So why is that so important for us? Because it allows us to integrate different brands and different partnerships with ease, right? And that's one of the modular aspects of Witsil that makes it so powerful. Then, if we enter the world, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, once you have these, what exactly can you do with them? Like, what's the experience?
Well, here we enter an island. Of course, it doesn't have much right now because again, this is an island that it's a real world place, and it's one of the places that that we got granted permission to restore. Right here, it is a picture in Acapulco, and what happened is that a hurricane hit Acapulco like 2 years ago and destroyed a lot of the area, right? So there's what with still comes. With still is like, okay, we're gonna work with the government, and we're gonna work with ourselves to create NFT assets to support the restoration of this project, right? And again, like this allows us not only to have virtual brands in our world, but it allows us to have real world brands too, which of course will support the token. Like I think it's a little bit too much to digest in short notice. But what I want to make clear is that the scope of this project is like enormous, like because we can make real changes like we can make real life changes. And not only that, like once we restore this island, like change everything. This is an old picture, everything got destroyed. Like we have a full space to tailor it how we want it. And that could mean like a smart place that has also connections with crypto. Maybe create a conference room there. uh, it's all about brainstorming. But the cool thing is that we can update it in the real world, and we can update it in the virtual world too, right? So it's like that's the two different approaches. And right now, what we created is like the merchant area, right? So we have our NFTs. For example, these are the NPCs that work with Echo's framework. For example, here we have this NPC watching get, and it's our Echo NPC, which, if you can see here, it's really simple. Uh, you see the image. This is
Yeah, I
an
can.
image. This is an image of our server, which is working locally in a Mac Mini, right? And we have the MLX server, and it's basically this simple, right? We have this NPC I'm talking right now is this JSON file right here, and it's using the fine-tuned model of egregore, right? And it has some instructions, etc. So basically, it's like, hello, Echo. And we can interact in real time with the NPCs. right? And again, it shows us, this prophetic, occult, almost like wisdom, right? uh, do you like Cardano? I hope he likes it. It would be a bit embarrassing if you know. Hey, so it seems like he likes it, right? And let's be clear. Like Echo, our agent, is fetching Twitter to 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 get more information about the current developments of Cardano. Right now, I made the answers a bit briefer than
Hmm.
it would make them on Twitter. But in the end, it's like it's the same agent, right? So that's the Echo agent. But we also made a merchant agent, and this is a really cool part because I think it's how we want to redefine how crypto users interact with their own NFTs. And for example, we get here and we can browse the wares, and we have different assets, right? That we can buy. Of course, like quality for us is very important. So we always try to make, like, I put a ton of effort in these assets that are game ready, right? So they won't work only on our platform. Like you could download the models and import them to your own games, right? Or mods or whatever. But here we are, and we can purchase them. We can confirm the purchase, 1,000 echo, whatnot. But the cool part is that we can interact with our merchant AI and ask them about the asset, right? For example, here we have the cloud mask, which is the Aztec god of thunder and rain. It will be like the Aztec version of Thor. So hey, let's see what our merchant thinks about it, right? Right now it's thinking. It's using a large model, but again, we can, like, these models keep improving day by day, right? And here we have, for some reason, it's using the hedgehog mask. I think there's I think with the client. Let me check. One second.
Yeah, no worries. And what's up? Nice to see some of you guys. Bomo, Agorith, Mr. Seven. Hope you guys are having awesome days.
There. Let's try again with the ocelot mask. And there you have it, right? It was there was like a connection issue with the server. But right now, for example, what we have is our merchant answering in the context of the personality that we gave him, right? So, for example, right now, I made a really, personality of a merchant that is traveling from world to world. And right now it's like, oh, the ocelot mask, a true enigma, shrouding mystery, right? And the cool thing is that I can go further, and it's like, oh, would it look nice? No, would I look nice wearing this mask? Right? So you can, like, if you're an NFT project, or you're a brand that wants to change the way users interact with your brand, NPC agents make this much more powerful, right? And right now it's like, oh yeah, for example, the question of aesthetics, uh, it it gives a second layer to having assets and to interact in a virtual world. And I've seen companies like Unreal adding AI to for example, to Fortnite, And this is like the very next big thing of virtual worlds and game interactions, right? And Echo wants to be like at the front of this movement in crypto and in Cardano. But yeah, like
That's really interesting what you just said there, because yeah, like even when I think about it, I haven't had as much time to play games recently, but when I was younger, I was like super into gaming. But yeah, like I remember in games like World of Warcraft, for example, all the NPCs say the same thing to everyone. And I think ultimately the next level of NPCs, whether it's in games or potentially shopping or these virtual experiences like you're talking about, it is likely to be completely customizable to each individual. And that's something really interesting and really exciting, to be honest, because it can customize the experience. Like each person, instead of every single experience being static for everyone, it's like there's no experience that's the same. It's very interesting. It can be like completely customized with AI.
yeah, I think it's really exciting for anyone that is making virtual experiences, right? And that's that's the cool thing about this virtual world, which right now it's this island, because it's the island that we're restoring in the real world, but it's not only this place, right? Like we can create multiple islands, multiple structures, and we can place them in this world so people can interact with them. And that's, I think that's really cool for and powerful for brands, real world brands that are exploring this new way, and also crypto brands, right? And another thing that's really powerful about blockchain is that it's the transparency, because like we've been talking with brands in real world and whatnot, and the problem with ads, for example, and online ads is that they usually have two models. Either like they charge per click, right? Or they charge like a fixed fee monthly. Uh, the thing about charging per clicks is that how, how how do you mitigate bots or spam or fake data, right? And blockchain is one of the best solutions for that. With blockchain, like we can have metrics like unique wallets, uh, monthly interactions with those unique wallets, how many transactions are made on the blockchain, how many users have certain assets. Uh, did people like your asset? Did people like? Okay, we made your conversation. We have data of a conversation between users and your NPC, and here's some chats. Of course, like we have to be transparent, and there's also privacy in mind, right? We don't want to give all the data to these companies, but we can have really powerful metrics in the sense that, oh, certain percentage of users had uh, really positive interactions and ask more about your brand, and they asked more about this certain subject, and they had doubts about this that we would like to implement and fine tune the model with, right? So this opens up like almost endless possibilities on how a brand can interact with users online. And it's not just these intrusive ads that sometimes makes you even resent the brand, right? It's like I'm watching a YouTube video and then an ad interrupts my video and it's like, oh, you know what? Now I hate your brand and I don't want to buy it. So with this, you can make it an interactive experience and a really fun and powerful one.
Man, so like let's run through a real world example here. Like let's say Coca-Cola
Mhm.
wanted to do something with this. Like what would you advise them to do in your sort of setup? Like what, like kind of like paint the process of what it would look like if Coca-Cola wanted to do this.
Well, of course, there will be branding in mind. We would have to explore the brand. Of course, everyone knows Coca-Cola, right? But the idea is that we have a really unique vision for our NPCs, right? It's not just an asset flip in which, oh, we're gonna make this jersey, we're gonna make it red because Coca-Cola is red, right? No, the idea is that gonna make a unique NPC and a unique structure for Coca-Cola, like a pop-up store that usually they make it in real life. We're gonna make it virtual, and then we're gonna place it in our virtual world. But also, we're gonna like since we're gonna restore the area in the physical world, we're also gonna have certain aspects there. But in the virtual world, the whole thing is to work with brands to make their NPC completely unique. After that, it's like okay, Coca-Cola usually has tons of different campaigns, and they pour a tons of resources to make this campaign possible. And they make a lot of market research and a lot of investigation behind it, and what are the current trends and whatnot. We would work with the brand to have all those insights in a fine-tuned model, completely tailored for their needs, for their interactions, what kind of interaction, what kind of personality your NFT wants. And then we create the NFT, right? And then we have like different possibilities. Oh, you want your NPC to be a merchant. You want your NPC to just be like a visitor. You want your NPC to have a background story. All those stuff would be discussed with the brand, and we would like it would be like tailor made for them, right? And once we do that, it's like okay, where do you want it? Here, like we have this structured process. If you want if you want just the NPC, it will be this. If you want just the assets, it would be this package. Or if you want the whole experience, we have that package too. And then like eventually Coca-Cola will have their own brand, their own NPC in our world. But not only that, like in Mexico, since we are restoring a public area, we have certain in Spanish is convenio, that in English it would translate directly to covenant, but that's like a bit too serious. But there's certain there's certain agreements in with the government for public service, right? So not the brand would not only have their exposure in both worlds, the virtual world and the physical world, but also since they are helping the planet and they are helping Mexico, some of this payment could be processed for tax deductible purposes, right? In the sense that right now it would be Mexican brands because it's in Mexico, right? But that's another aspect that I think it's really powerful with this, because brands could not only advertise themselves, but also show that they are making a positive change in the world and in the planet. So again, like the scope is gigantic, but the possibilities are like, I wouldn't say endless because it sounds almost cliche, right? But I would say it's so powerful for brands and projects that want to participate with us.
I feel like this is so ahead of its time, honestly. Like I'm
Thank
like
you.
you're really like like at the very beginning I didn't really necessarily understand it that much, but like the more that you've been talking about it, the more that I could see this sort of thing playing out. Because it's almost crazy to think that there's these digital worlds where like people will go in and interact with these NPCs, and but in all reality, you've already seen with Fortnite over the past couple years them do these same type of events where they'll have Travis Scott or something do a virtual concert, and you have millions of people around the world tuning into that. So it's not too crazy to think, as AI keeps advancing and as technology keeps advancing and as people get more and more virtual, more and more digital, it's not too crazy to think that a lot of these experiences start becoming online. And you're right, there are brands that are going to need to capture that audience that transitions to online, that is on virtual. Like right now, maybe Coca Cola is marketing on the highway like a sign saying buy a Coke. But in reality, in the future, that can be in a virtual sort of setting. It's just like it's hard to sort of wrap your head around some of these things, but I definitely think brands are going to want to advertise and market. And if more people are going virtual, there's going to be a need for companies that are building these virtual experiences that can like tap into that marketing, whatever the case is. It's just like, yeah, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that, for example, when I dress myself, I don't like I don't like to wear clothes that say the brand, because then I become a walking billboard, right? Like
Hmm.
that's my feeling. The cool thing about this is that it allows brands to separate from that feeling, right? In the sense that, okay, we are not making just a t-shirt that says Coca-Cola. We're making a whole experience that will make, like, would make the user feel compelled to get that asset and wear it with pride, because it's like, oh, I'm wearing this, and this is an exclusive seasonal event that with Seal Island had, and Echo added this uh, NFT that of their brand, and there were only 100 released, right? That's another aspect that I think will resonate really good with brands. The sense of the sense of purpose to belong to to that brand, right? And since we're also adding these brands to the restoration of the planet, right now I think environmentalism is really hot, especially with younger generations. And brands will be like, okay, I will be able to advertise my project. I will have an interactive AI experience with the users of this project. But not only that, I will make a positive impact on the planet, which will grant me, with the local government, uh, a label. In Mexico is ESR, which is like environmentally responsible enterprise, right? Uh, so it's like there's so many positive aspects to be part of this. It's not just advertisement, right? It's a whole new experience and a whole new way we can interact with projects and brands. And again, that's possible because for some reason or another, I wanted to create an AI agent that explored things differently, and in the end, it turned into this.
So I know you keep mentioning like real world, like with that Poco Island thing. How exactly are you helping these real world communities? Like, what exactly does that look like?
So basically, what we do is, we create a whole, like, let me check if I have the sorry. Uh, what we do is, we talk with the local authorities, right, with the local government, and there's an area we see that needs fixing. For example, this island used to be a very important part of the community, and it need a recreational area, right? But what happened is that a hurricane destroyed it completely. So let me check. I'm gonna stop the screen sharing for a moment, and let me check if we have the files of the restoration process, which should be here. So basically, what we do is we we propose a project, right? And we propose a whole restoration process. And in these agreements with the government, in Mexico is usually, again, this word covenant, but it's like for every peso we put, the local government puts 2 pesos, right? And here, let me see. Uh, that's weird. For some reason, it's okay. Here it is. So let me share again the screen.
Okay.
So this is a whole investigation, right, of the area, uh, and how we were doing it, right? And we have a whole history behind it and why it was so important for the community. This is our main area we're focusing right now. Again, this is like an exact 101 recreation in our virtual world. You can see a little bit of the shape, right? Of course, this our creatures, our NPCs, and our characters are way smaller, but that's because making a virtual world allows us for so many things that couldn't be allowed, like architecturally speaking, couldn't be possible in the real world, right? But we have all these studies, all these aspects, and then we give them the proposal. This proposal allows us to tailor the construction of the island with our vision. And right now you can see it, right? You can see the renders, you can see the physical development. This is made by my business partner Andres Leal, a really powerful, capable guy, and I'm like, again, he's amazing with this. He's in charge of the real world development, right? And we go with the government. We propose them the whole thing. This is like one of the ideas we have. Again, like of course, we were talking about that this island got destroyed by a hurricane. So we're talking about climatic resistance, right? And whatnot. And again, like brands that collaborate with us, they don't only get this, like, right? They don't only get the benefit of having their brand and their own personality as an NPC in our virtual world. They have a real world change, and again, it would be a whole design process that we would make with the brand, right? uh, Studies about the local animals. Again, like this is a full restoration project. And if the proposal is like, if the brand goes further with the proposal, for us it's as simple as adding it, right? Again, another thing is that this gives a sense of exclusivity and urgency for the brands to collaborate with us, because in our real world we have a limited space. In our virtual world we don't. So that's the flexibility.
Dude, this is interesting. Dude, I also can't believe it's already been an hour. Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, dude, man. So what's kind of, we've gone over a lot of stuff here. I guess one of the questions I always like asking towards the end is like, where do you hope to see this in the next 3 to 5 years? Because you've brought up a lot of different paths, you've brought up a lot of different capabilities. there's a lot of routes that you can sort of go. I mean, yeah, I guess like where do you hope to see this in the future?
Yeah. Well, when the reason why I came to Cardano was because of all the talks and the whiteboard videos and Charles Hoskinson saying that crypto can become a force of change and for good, right? And what how I'm seeing this project and myself and Andres, my business partner, in 3 years is changing and restoring areas all over the world, but also like changing the way people interact with their virtual assets and making this a whole movement, right? It's like I imagine myself, even I like showing people, oh, look at my character, look Echo, and going to, because this also is going to work on phones, like it's a React app, so it works in any browser, right? But it's like going somewhere and it's like chatting with people and connecting with people that care about the environment and also into digital world, and they're like, look what we did, we changed this, and we changed this in Mexico. Oh, but you know what? In Colombia, we were doing this, and we found this area, and we made a park, uh, and we restored this place that was for disenfranchised people, and now they have a really nice spot, and this is all powered by crypto. So, like, what I'm seeing myself is creating a whole new movement in how people interact with digital assets, in how people interact with AI, right? It's like, oh, have you seen this new insight, and how Echo is thinking about this project, and users saying, oh, I really feel connected with this app, and I feel really connected with this AI, and you know I don't know, for me it would be like incredible to say, like, talk with one member of the community and say like, oh, you know what, my favorite NPC is Coca-Cola, like the Coca-Cola NPC is so good, like I love chatting with him. For me, like, that would be incredible, like all these aspects, and seeing them materialize. uh that's how I would like myself to see the project going.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, man, this has been a really interesting conversation for me. I hope those that listened today also found it interesting. And it's ambitious, but I see the vision in it, and wish you nothing but the best on the journey for it. And yeah, I guess I mean we're at the hour mark here. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we wrapped up today?
Well, I would like to thank you, Jason, for having me, and I would like also to thank the community, because like the project had its ups and downs, but what I always felt was the support from the community and from people that really believe this project and believed in the vision I have. And for any other creator and builder that is out there and is making projects, um, it's hard, and sometimes it's like, oh, this is going nowhere, or oh, what am I doing, or all these doubts, is it gonna be successful, it's like, don't worry about that, just worry on creating, uh, follow your vision, but also talk to people and really respect the members of your community and the people you talk to, because they can give you inputs and they can give you certain paths that by yourself there wouldn't be possible. So yeah, like, again, if you're a builder, build, and that's That's the best thing you can do.
Beautiful advice. Beautiful advice. But dude, once again, appreciate everyone that listened in today. Appreciate you showing us all the stuff you're building. Wish you nothing but the best on the journey for it. And I love the impact that you're trying to make here. Yeah. What's up, Andreas? Awesome stuff. But yeah, dude, thank you once again. And I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one.
See you guys.